Hey guys, my name is Em and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video it is going to be a 24-hour readathon vlog and I'm so excited. Readathons are my absolute favorite videos to film and I think that they're your favorite videos to watch as well. So I'm really excited to be doing this one. I'm going to be using the timer method for this readathon. I rarely do these timer method readathons anymore because they are so time consuming and so difficult, but I'm really feeling motivated to do one right now, and I think it's the perfect time because September has just started, spooky season has just started, and I feel like the perfect way to get into spooky season is to do a 24-hour readathon. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I am going to be starting this readathon at 4 p.m. today, which is in literally 10 minutes. The book that I'm going to be starting with is The Inmate by Freida McFadden. I have already started this book. I started it yesterday and I think I'm like 33% of the way through the book or something. So that is the book that I'm going to be starting with, and yeah, I'm gonna come back to you at 4 o'clock. I think I'm gonna go make myself an iced coffee right now before the readathon begins to give me that energy that I need to keep me going, and I'm also gonna sit outside because it's really warm outside, which kind of contradicts. Like, this is gonna be an autumnal spooky book readathon and we're currently in the middle of a heat wave, which is so typical because we literally got no heat during the summer when I wanted to read my beachy romances, and now I want to read my thrillers and it's conflicting. But you know what, I'm gonna enjoy it. So yeah, I'm gonna make myself an iced coffee, I'm gonna grab my thriller and I'm gonna sit in my back garden and get to reading. And yeah, I am so excited. It's been ages since I've done a 24-hour readathon and especially a timer method readathon, so I'm so excited to get into it. And yeah, I will come back to you at 4 p.m. Okay, I am now 72% of the way through The Inmate and I have some thoughts. Overall, I am really liking this book so far, but I have some thoughts, and one of my thoughts is that our main character is just an absolute idiot. And I know that sounds so harsh, but the one thing that I hate in thrillers is when like every single person in the main character's life and even herself is telling her that something is not right, but yet she still keeps going. She keeps seeing this one person, she keeps befriending this one person, and it is the most frustrating thing ever because I'm like, this person cannot be trusted, and it's just really frustrating to read. Now I am still really liking it and I don't know how it's gonna end. Misty. But yeah, I feel like if it ends the way that it's looking like it's going to end, it's going to be really boring, simply because like it's kind of blaringly obvious, but also like obviously it's not going to end like that. So I don't know. I'm spooked, but I'm intrigued to keep going. I don't have any theories. I do not know how it's going to end. But yeah, no, the one thing that I have to say is our main character is just a little bit silly and ignoring every single red flag and danger and common sense. It doesn't make sense. The math is not mathing. But yeah, that is my update for right now. We're almost an hour in and I'm going to go charge my camera battery and go finish this book. Hi besties. Okay, it is now a little bit later in the evening. It is actually almost 7 p.m. right now, but I have finished my first book of this 24-hour readathon. Actually, I finished it like an hour ago. Yeah, I just like took a little bit of a break because you know what, honestly, you need a minute between finishing one book and starting the next, even though that's not ideal for a readathon. But anyways, we move. But yeah, I have now finished The Inmate by Freida McFadden and I actually really did like this book. Do I think it was the best thriller I've ever read? No. It honestly kind of read just more like a fiction book than a thriller, in my opinion at least. I haven't read a huge amount of thrillers, so honestly I'm not probably the best one to like review thrillers and like tell you how good they are or not because I don't have much to go on. However, I did really enjoy this book. But yeah, honestly, like this wasn't thrilling. Did I predict it? Like not necessarily, but also kind of yes. Like it was one of those ones where I was like, it's gearing towards this person, so I'm believing that it's this person for the minute, but like obviously I know it's not going to be this person because it is way too obvious that it's going to be this person. But also the person it ended up being was quite anticlimactic and just kind of like a oh okay moment. Our main character was so silly at some points of this book. Like she literally ignored every single red flag, every single warning that anyone gave her, and she was too trusting of absolutely everyone. But like in the same sentence she would tell herself like this person could potentially be a serial killer, and then she would be like, but I think he's the one. And I'm like, the one what? The one who's gonna kill you? Because yes girl, like yes he is. And it was just frustrating to read that because I was like, how are you so self-aware but so stupid in the same sentence. Like I don't get it. It wasn't computing. The one part of the book that absolutely shocked the shit out of me was the epilogue. Miss Frida McFadden, whoa, like that was an epilogue. Like that was an epilogue. I again kind of did see that coming when the whole snow thing happened. I did kind of sense that a certain person had something to do with that, and I'm being so vague and I apologize for the people who haven't read it and have no idea what I'm saying, but I don't want to spoil anything because obviously it's a thriller. But for those of you who have read this, you know what I mean. But yeah, no, the epilogue did shock me, but like overall, even though it wasn't like the most thrilling thing I've ever read or like the best thriller I've ever read, I genuinely really enjoyed reading it, and I fly through thrillers so much, and her writing style is amazing, and I was intrigued. Like I did want to know how it ended, and like I literally read this book in I think like 2 sittings, which is very rare. So yeah, I really did like this book, and I ended up giving it a 4-star. I kind of intended to read exclusively like autumnal or spooky books during this readathon, but I'm kind of feeling like a bit of a switch in genres right now, so that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So the book that I decided to pick up is Hothouse Flower by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is the 2nd book in the Calloway Sisters series. It's like the 5th book I think in like the Addicted Calloway universe. But yeah, I think I'm gonna pick up this book right now because I'm in the mood for a romance book, but a romance book that's just vibes, and I feel like that's kind of this series. Like obviously there are other things to it, but ultimately like this book kind of reads like a reality TV series, and sometimes that's exactly what you need. Reading these books is the equivalent of watching Love Island. I don't know how to explain that because the plots are not remotely similar, but they have the same effect, and I will not be elaborating any more on that, but that's just fact. It is like 500 pages, which is very, very long for a romance book, but they do read really, really quickly, and again, as I said, they read like a reality TV series, so I do tend to fly through these books. But I may like read this up until the nighttime, and then maybe in bed I might start another thriller on my Kindle or another book on my Kindle. I honestly might start another Frida McFadden book because I'm kind of intrigued to read her entire backlist now. Like I kind of get the hype, even though this wasn't like a phenomenal thriller. I kind of get the hype, and I kind of want to read all of her other books. But right now I actually have the worst headache, and I think honestly it's because I've been filming and talking all day. So I think I'm gonna go make myself an iced coffee, read. I possibly might sit out in my garden. What is happening to the lighting? Oh my god. It is sunset, and you're like, my kitchen window is kind of behind you, so anyways, we're just gonna deal with it. And yeah, I might go sit outside for a while as well to get some fresh air and hopefully get rid of this headache, because it's not convenient for a 24-hour readathon, let me tell you. Did you take my seat? Did you take my seat? You can have my seat. Okay, it is now the next evening, and have I read anything else? Not really. So I have now read a little bit of Hothouse Flowers. I think I read like 30 something pages, but honestly I just can't get into it and I don't know why. And I think maybe it's the fact that like it's a 500-page book and I'm like aware that this is a 24-hour readathon and I know that it's going to take me a while to read, so I don't think I want to get into it right now. So I've decided to go back to my trusty old Kindle and pick up another thriller, and I've decided to start another Frida McFadden book. I have to say Frida McFadden kind of has me in a chokehold. Like, I've only read one of her books, but I'm really intrigued to read more. I actually can't remember the title. I think it's called Never Lie, but it sounds so good, so I think I'm gonna pick that one up right now. But honestly though, like, do I want to be reading a psychological thriller before bed? But you know what, anything for the readathon. My timer is currently at 2 hours 23 minutes. It took me an hour and 34 minutes to read The Inmate, and then I read Hothouse Flower for 48 minutes and did not make it that far through, and honestly I've decided to DNF that one for the moment, not permanently, but just for this readathon. Okay, so I was just going through my Kindle because I was like, you know what, I want to read on my Kindle, I want to lay down and be comfy, but I don't really want to start a thriller this late at night because I'm gonna get spooked, I'm gonna get scared. I was going through like my Kindle app, going through Kindle Unlimited, and I stumbled across this book called Call It What You Want. I'll put the cover up here because it's honestly so pretty. And basically this book was written for the situationship girlies, and I'm a situationship girly. I am a situationship survivor, if you will. And literally the dedication to this book is "You'll always be my favorite almost." This is either the most toxic idea I've ever had or the best idea that I've ever had, because I feel like this book is going to cause me immense pain. Let me read you the tagline. So it says, "Call It What You Want is a nostalgic ode to almost love stories, the ones with no label, no title, but an undeniable intensity. Call it what you want. Was it love?" Sloane Hart is a hopeless romantic who always believed her great love story was out there until her parents' divorce shattered that dream. She swears off dating and is determined to graduate college, become a writer, and move to New York City. Slay, go girl. Until she meets Ethan. Already, fuck you, Ethan. Like, literally fuck you. Ethan Brady is guarded and mysterious, unwilling to talk about his past or let anyone get too close. I think I've seen this film before and I didn't like the ending. As they start dating without labels, they both know it can't last forever. Sloane imagines a future with Ethan, but he can't give her the commitment she needs. Will she be able to convince Ethan to take a chance on it, or will she have to learn the hard way that some things just aren't meant to be? Sloane and Ethan's story is a bittersweet tale of love and self-discovery that explores the complexities of relationships and the challenges of moving on. See, here's the thing. I love a happily ever after in books. Like, I really love happily ever afters in books, but I kind of don't want this book to have a happily ever after. Like, I don't want this situationship to work out, and I know that's so horrible of me. That is for one reason and one reason only, and that is because if this book ends with the situationship working out, I will become Delulu. I kind of don't want them to end up together. But then why am I reading a romance book if I don't want them to end up together? Anyways, I'm just gonna shut up and read this goddamn book because it's 260 pages. How bad could it possibly be? Famous last word. But yeah, I'm gonna start this book and I'll update you as I go. I've read the prologue and I have highlighted practically the entire thing, which is a bonus because I've not annotated a book in ages, so this is a slay. But also there was like 3 Taylor Swift references and that is just the way to my heart. Also, literally the name of the book is a Taylor Swift song. But anyways, let me read you out my annotations because I feel like we need to be delusional together. So literally this quote just kind of shattered me a little bit. Maybe that's all we'd ever be, an incomplete sentence or a book that someone put down halfway through and never picked back up, finished without an ending. Yeah. I have now just finished my second book of the readathon, and that one was The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walter. You may be thinking, Emma, you told me you were reading 2 books and neither of those books are this one, and you'd be so right, but In my defense, it is literally almost 30 degrees today. It's like 26, 27 degrees. And when the weather is like that, I just want to sit in my garden and read summery beachy romances. And I had already started this book during the summer and I was like halfway through. And I felt like it's a book that I can only read outside or when it's like really, really warm. So I was waiting for the perfect opportunity and I finally got it and I'm so happy. And I finished this book and I really, really loved it. Honestly, like I could give this book a 5 stars. I kind of want to give it a 5 stars, but the only reason I'm not giving it a 5 stars is because like I've obviously loved books more than I've loved this book and they've been 5 stars, but like also, does it really matter? I don't know. So I think honestly I might just give this book a 5 star, if not a 4.5 star. But yeah, this one was really, really fun. It was the perfect summery romance and I really, really loved it. It's honestly very unique in terms of like a summer romance because usually like the couple doesn't get together until the end, or else like they were in love and then they didn't speak for 10 years and now they're like trying to make it up to each other. But this definitely wasn't the case in this book. Like literally this book is their summer romance and they get together fairly early on in the book, which usually I don't like because it's usually like the tension before people get together that I actually enjoy reading about. But I really, really liked this one. Like I have to say, I really loved it. They were so cute and this whole book was honestly so wholesome because it is literally this huge ginormous family coming together for a family wedding and playing this like massive game of assassin and spending the summer on this island, and it just literally just is the perfect summer book, to be quite honest. Like I really, really loved it. So yeah, I'm really glad that I finished this book. I was up to page 164, but I literally read like all of this morning and it honestly did not take me that long at all. Like it's such a quick read. So let's check on the timer. So I'm currently up to 6 hours 40 minutes of reading, which means I have 17 hours and 10 minutes left on the timer, which is still a long time. Like I feel like I have been reading a lot and I've still got like 17 hours on the timer. So yeah, I read 190 pages today, which is honestly quite the achievement. Like it's literally only 2 p.m. But yeah, really, really glad that I read this book. I honestly don't know what book I want to pick up next, but I think I want to pick up another summer romance simply because I know that once like this weather disappears, it's gonna be like straight into like cold weather and dreary rainy weather for the rest of the winter. And even though I love autumn and I was in such an autumn mood at the beginning of this video, at my core I am a summer girl and this weather just puts me in the biggest summer mood. So I do think I'm gonna pick up another summer romance, but right now I am gonna take like a brief break because I need to like do some laundry and do some other things. I need to return a package and a few other things that I've got to do today, and then once I finish those I will pick back up another book. I have just finished Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. I literally didn't even update you that I had started this book and now I'm finished this book. I don't know why I didn't update the vlog. I think I've just lost steam for this readathon, but I did want to continue reading and give you guys an update. So I read this entire book in the space of like 2 days. It was really, really good. It was really fun. It was one of these typical like beach romances. It was actually technically a lake. It's not even a beach house, it's a lake house, but same vibes. But it's your typical kind of summery romance where you have 2 timelines. The first timeline is when they are young and they're falling in love, and then the second timeline is when it's present day. They're like 30 now and they haven't spoken in 12 years and we have to figure out what's after happening. So yeah, that was the vibe of the book. Really, really liked it. I've decided to give it a 4 stars just because I don't think it had that 5-star vibe for me. It just was one that I was kind of like, yeah, I read this, it was good, but I don't necessarily want to read it again, that kind of a way. But yeah, I really did like this book. It had the perfect summery vibes and it was definitely the right book to read during the heat wave. And their romance was honestly so cute and I loved seeing them when they were younger, when they like went from like being best friends to then being, you know, in a couple and in love, and then to see how like they kind of had to separate for a while because of the reason that I'm not going to say, and then like when they reunited and saw each other again after 12 years. It was just really lovely to read about. Like it really, really was, and I think that this was the perfect kind of summery read. So yeah, I gave it a 4 stars and I would definitely recommend it. I know we're kind of heading out of summer now, in the northern hemisphere at least, so you mightn't be picking up any more summer books, but it definitely is one to keep on your radar for the next time that you're fancying a kind of easy to read summery romance. So to check on my timer, I have 9 hours and 1 minute left. This book actually took me a long time to read. Now I did accidentally like leave the timer running for I think like an hour and a half where I was not reading. I was on TikTok and then I only remembered after that hour and a half that I still had my timer running. But this book actually did take me a while to read. I don't know, the writing style was like not one that you would expect of like a summery romance, so it did take me like a little bit longer to get through, but still very enjoyable and nothing wrong with that. It just took me a little bit longer. However, this readathon has been going on a week now and I still have like 9 hours left, and honestly I think I've just lost the motivation for this readathon, so I do honestly think I'm going to end this readathon here. Call it a fail if you want. I did finish 2 books, so I don't think I'd call it a fail, but I definitely started out stronger than I finished. But that's fine. I just haven't been able to do a successful readathon in ages and I don't know why. But yeah, let me wrap up quickly what I read and count up how many pages I read. So I finished 2 books. The first book that I finished was The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walter. I read 190 pages of this. I gave this one a 4.5 stars. I really liked it. Again, perfect summary read, and it was just stunning. It was just beautiful. It was literally just good vibes. Like, it was just good vibes, and the plot twist was so wholesome. Like, everything about this book was just wholesome, and I would definitely recommend. Honestly, might give it a 5 stars, I'm not sure, but for now it's a 4.5. But yeah, I would highly recommend this book. Wait, I totally read another book before this. I read The Inmate. Didn't I? Did I read The Inmate in this vlog? I think I read The Inmate in this vlog. Okay, so this was actually the second book that I finished. I finished 3 books in this vlog. Okay, this was a success. I mightn't have made it to the end of the 24 hours, but it's definitely a successful one. Okay, I totally forgot, but actually the first book that I finished was The Inmate by Frida McFadden, which I absolutely loved. I gave it a 4 star. Again, I'm tempted to kind of change it to a 5 star, but I'm going to keep it as a 4 star because, I don't know, I feel like sometimes I just rate books purely on vibes and there has to be a little bit something else to it. I was 33% of the way through this book when I started the readathon, so I read 260 pages of that book. So yeah, I read 260 pages of The Inmate and finished that one. Then I read 190 pages of The Summer of Broken Rules and finished that one. Then I was kind of in this weird moment where I didn't really know which book I wanted to pick up, so I kind of hopped around for a few different books. I ended up reading 42 pages of Hothouse Flower by Kristen Becca Ritchie, but ultimately I didn't stick to this book because it's a 500-page book and I just wasn't feeling the vibe of this book right now. I did also pick up like a couple of Kindle books that I think I updated you on as well, but I never made it further than like after the first chapter, so I'm not even going to count those pages because I literally just like read the first chapter and then gave up. But then the third and final book that I finished during this readathon was Every Summer After by Carly Fortune, which I absolutely loved as well. I gave it a 4 stars and I would highly recommend this book. And this book was 304 pages and I read this from start to finish, so in total I read 796 pages. I don't know why I literally said that this readathon was unsuccessful because I have not read 796 pages in a week in a very long time, so that's actually really good and I'm really happy with the progress. Next time that I do a readathon, I do hope to make it to the end of the 24 hours, but honestly I don't think I will be doing a timer method readathon for a very long time because they take a lot of time and effort, and right now my life is just a bit busier than it used to be, so I don't really have that time to do them right now, which is kind of sad, but I will again. Maybe I'll do them like seasonally or something like that. But yeah, that is it for this vlog, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. I finished 3 books, I read 796 pages and I had a really fun time. If you did watch to the end, thank you so much, and make sure to comment some beachy summary emojis. But yeah, that is it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Stay amazing, stay kind, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!